A week ago, we broke the story as how the amendment will be made on the 8th of December that the IOC had asked for, and Lalit Bhanot and Abhay Chautala will be barred. For that's what matters, not the endless debates, but Indian sport. That will always be our top focus here on Sports Quota. I'm Siddharth Kochar. And first up, let's take a look at how the IOC has last night set the ball rolling for India's return into the Olympic fold. These pictures have inspired a generation. But the lack of such images playing on our screens over the last year have hurt India badly. As officials battled for power, it was the athletes who were made to pay by not being allowed to play under the tricolour. But the IOC has now set the stage for India's return into the Olympic fold.
We welcome the decision of the IOC, and as I told you last time also, that we will be happy to see our athletes participating under Indian banner. So it's a good news, and we all are happy.
This came after the IOA finally buckled under months of pressure built up after Headlines Today's expose on their treachery and double game, and the IOC sent them a final warning. The IOA amended its constitution, barring the likes of Lalit Bhanot and Abhay Chautala from being a part of the IOA or even contesting polls. But the administrators are still intent on playing the blame game rather than celebrating a momentous occasion.
Unfortunately, we had one person amongst us, and I have no hesitation in naming him, Mr. Ranveer Singh, who has been playing a spoil sport from day one. We've been keeping quiet till now unless and until these things get sorted out. I thank God for all the blessings he's given us, and this ban is supposed to be removed once we do our elections. But this gentleman, Mr. Ranveer Singh, was there in Lausanne today also, again trying to sabotage the whole thing.
The sports minister greeted the announcement with joy, thanking the IOC for trying to clean up Indian sports and calling on the IOA to deliver on its promises. Those who've toiled for India and the tricolour have welcomed the move.
It's a very happy news. It's a very happy moment for Indian sport, because basically every sportsman was looking forward to have some positive response from IOC, and on the other hand, IOA has also agreed that they will not get all these people who have some cases against them. So basically we sportsmen are very happy.
Indian sports fans will be marking the 9th of February in 2014 on their calendars, and all eyes will now be on the IOA.
There is a good news and a bad news. Good news is that IOC has principally accepted India's restoration into the Olympic fold. The bad news is that still bickering is going on in the IOA. Something against the other, the blame game continues. Come February 9th, IOA has to forget all its differences and conduct a free and fair election. Then only India's restoration to Olympic movement will completely be done. With camera person Manish Dubey in Delhi, this is Shumon Ray for Headlines Today.
All right, we've got Narinder Batra, the Secretary General of Hockey India, someone who's leveled those allegations in the story that you just saw on the phone line with us. We've got Boria Majumdar, a consulting editor, and we've got Reet Abraham, a former Arjuna Award winner, as well as a national champion. She's also a member of Clean Sports India. First, I'll go across to Mr. Batra. And Mr. Batra, isn't this a time to celebrate? Why the blame game?
No, there's time to celebrate. You see, for 1 year, India has remained outside the Olympic fold. Now, why we went out is also a question which nobody went into. Mr. Ranveer Singh was Secretary General of IOA and member of IOC in India, and he knew the court judgment had come somewhere in July, August. He never informed IOC till November. When he realized that he doesn't have the votes to become the president, that is when he informs the IOC.
But Mr. Batra, yes, you're alleging motives to what Mr. Ranveer Singh did, but you cannot deny the fact that it's for the benefit of Indian sport. What he's done is ensured that a cleanup of Indian sport after 65 years, because since then we've had people like Lalit Bhanot, a tainted member who spent time in jail. We've had Abhay Chautala, who faces a massive case of corruption against him. Those were the people who were trusted with running Indian sport. Now, that's not fair.
No, if Ranveer Singh would have got elected, then there was no issue. The moment he realized he did not have votes, he gets this letter and then gets into a blame game like he got 4 or 5. He's got along with him. I'm telling you, there are hundreds of mails on record where athletes, where some NGOs and everyone has helped.
Yes, absolutely, Mr. Batra. We've exposed Mr. Randhir Singh and the double game that he was playing. But there is a more important point, and the more important point is that I'll go to Reeth for that, because Reeth, you were pointing out yesterday that there is a clause in that amendment that's been made that could lead to complications.
Which clause? Sorry, I didn't understand. What did you say?
Mr. Batra, just listen to Reeth and I'll come back to you.
Yes, when we saw what IOA had done, at the bottom of the amended paragraph, they had said that any tainted official would be referred to the IOA Ethics Commission. And at that point of time, we all knew that they were playing a kind of a game, you know, where they could allow the tainted officials to, get in. There would be a back entry for them because all the people in the IOA Ethics Commission would be the ones chosen by them.
Fair point.
So there was really no point.
Reeth, let Mr. Batra respond to that. Will the IOA Ethics Commission be absolutely unbiased? Will you be putting checks and balances in there?
No, I'll answer the question. See, in IOC itself, everything of this nature goes to the IOC Ethics Commission. Unfortunate part in India is that certain people in India have still not got over their British mindset that they will trust the judges who are sitting in Switzerland, but for them the judges in India are corrupt. The members of the Ethics Commission are all retired judges. That is what I am trying to say, that certain people have still not got over that British era and still stuck in that, and they were strong followers of so-called Raja Sahab of the British period, that they still cannot come out of that mindset. I totally stand by the Ethics Commission. It's an Ethics Commission which has retired judges, and it is high time we respect our judiciary rather than going and bending before the judges in Switzerland and telling us Indians to go and bow before them. I'm sorry, I do respect Indian judges and I stand by the Ethics Commission that is there in IOA.
Mr. Batra, Boria wants to come in. Boria, go ahead.
You know, Mr. Batra, you and I have sort of agreed on several things in the past on several counts. But this one, I hope you will agree that for the betterment of Indian sport, it's important that Randhir Singh goes, it's important Abhay Chautala goes, it's important Lalit Bhanot goes. So why don't we see a unified face of the IOA? And this is just the perspective of an analyst and that of a fan. Would you agree with me that it is for the betterment of Indian sport? And you yourself have led this crusade. I know what you've gone through in trying to convince these people, i.e. Abhay Chautala, Lalit Bhanot, and some of the others. I know what you've gone through in trying to convince them. What took them so long? What took them so long to accept this directive of the IOC? We've exposed Randhir Singh on headlines today, left, right and center. He was playing a double game, no question. But what about Lalit Bhanot and Abhay Chautala? What took them so long? Why did our athletes have to suffer for 1 year?
No, Boriaji, if you said there are now mails in circulation that mails were being sent by Randhir Singh, by BVP Rao, by this Clean Sports Organization and some Ajay Rao and so many other people who were sending mails, don't recognize India, don't recognize India. And I am surprised that we had a bill drafting committee and the lawyer who was supposed to be the convener has also sent them definition of charge frame, charge sheet. So there were certain issues that you were actually, these people were, instead of helping, confusing all the things. See, people have gone. These things have been proposed and seconded by Mr. Chautala and Mr. Bhanot. I do understand there has been a delay, but there is not one member. There are 183 people. Everybody, there were certain people who had restrictions on age. There are certain people. So
Mr. Batra, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but here you're actually defending the indefensible, because we have Mr. Bhanot on record saying to headlines today that he does not rule out the possibility of contesting the IOA elections in the future, despite the overwhelming proof of how he's robbed the entire country in the Commonwealth Games scam. If you want, we'll send you a CD of that interview. You can listen to it and then you can decide. But at the moment, what my producers are telling me, it seems that we've run out of time. We're so sorry, because this is a much broader debate. I'll apologize to Reeth, I'll apologize to Mr. Batra, and I'll apologize to Boria as well, because there's so much to talk about. And we leave you, though, with a reaction from the man who's probably the most successful individual Indian Olympian, Sushil Kumar. This is what he had to say when he spoke to Shumon Ray after that landmark statement from the IOC that has set the Indian sporting circles abuzz once again. Watch this as we say bye-bye.
He has been the front runner in the campaign for India's restoration in the Olympic field. With me is double Olympic medalist Sushil Kumar. Sushil, जब आपको ये खबर मिली, आपका पहला रिएक्शन क्या हुआ? इंडिया ओलंपिक फोल्ड में वापस आ गया, यानी कि एथलीट्स अब इंडियन फ्लैग के अंडर वो पार्टिसिपेट कर सकेंगे।
बिल्कुल, बहुत ज़्यादा खुशी हुई और मैं सब जो भी अधिकारी हैं हमारे ओलंपिक संघ से, मैं उनको सबको मैं बधाई दूंगा कि उन्होंने ये चीज़ सॉर्ट आउट करके जितने भी खिलाड़ी थे उनको सबको तोहफा दिया है, ये एक आप कह सकते हैं। तो सभी बहुत बधाई के पात्र हैं कि सभी लोगों ने एकजुट होकर देश के बारे में सोचा, देश हित में सोचा कि जो खिलाड़ी हमारे मेहनत करते हैं और अभी हमारे खिलाड़ी बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं, ओलंपिक में हो, वर्ल्ड चैम्पियनशिप हो, एशियन गेम्स हो, कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स हो, तो सभी में बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं खिलाड़ी। और नेशनल एंथम ना बजे, झंडे के नीचे ना खेलें तो कोई उस मेडल का कोई मायने नहीं रखते।
जो आपका जो तीसरा जो मेडल के लिए आप तैयारी करेंगे, तो अब जो ओलंपिक्स में इंडिया पार्टिसिपेट कर सकता है, आपके लिए कितना ये हौसला अफजाई की बात रही? क्योंकि अब थर्ड जो है, आप पे एक अलग तरह का प्रेशर है। प्रेशर नहीं है लेकिन फिर भी प्रेशर है।
नहीं, प्रेशर में होकर नहीं खेलेंगे और जैसा मेहनत करेंगे तो अच्छा करेंगे, मेहनत नहीं करेंगे तो अच्छा नहीं करेंगे। और मैं चाहे वो बड़ा एथलीट